Mention the name Brontes, and this is what you think of. Heather-clad, windswept moors. Pathway's latest video, the Bronte Ways, takes us through spectacular scenery like this, but it also traces the steps of the family, winding through the many villages with which they were associated at various times, and which form the rich landscape of their novels. It might seem odd that we're beginning the walk here in the Spen Valley, miles away from Haworth, but the first 10 miles or so of the walk teem with Bronte associations, like here at Oakwell Hall. At the top of the hill, the next place we encounter connected to the Bronte story is the Red House Museum. Just up the road from the Shears at Hightown is Clough House, where Patrick Bronte brought his new bride Maria in 1812, and where his first two children, Maria and Elizabeth, were born. The Bronte Way continues down Clough Lane and follows the route which Patrick regularly walked to serve his ministry at St. Peter's Church at Hartshead. He was there from 1812 to 1815. It's not a flat stage of the route. It's all a bit uphill and down dale. And then you come to the steepest descent on the whole Bronte Way. You've literally got to watch your steps. Judy Woods is an idyllic place set amidst ancient beech trees, a real adventure playground with water slides and waterfalls. Well, this is it, 74 Market Street, the place where the great literary story begins, where the family lived from 1815 to 1820, and where Charlotte, Branwell, Emily and Anne were born. Well, this is it, the view you've all been waiting for, the view that gets my vote as the best on the whole Bronte Way. Below us, Leeming Reservoir, just behind that, Oxenhope, with Haworth just peeping round the corner of the hill there, all framed against the backcloth of the high peaks. Ingleborough, Pennygent, spectacular. Just take some time out to sit and savour it all, drink it all in before we descend into the promised land. All aboard! It's time for the off. In time-honoured fashion, the guard's whistle gets the show on the road. Well, this is really exciting for me. I'm on a steam train on the Worth Valley Railway. It's difficult to visualise the village that the Brontes would have known, now swarming with shops and cafes catering for a bustling tourist industry. But these are the same cobbles over which their convoy of carts would have clattered back in April 1820. The journey from Thornton over the hills through Denham and Oxenhope, which would take us an hour, was a day's adventure to them. It would have been 6 very excited children who arrived in this wild moorland village, as Charlotte was later to call it. Just off Main Street is a winding alley which is Church Street, and we finally arrive at the parsonage. Well, that's the end of the first half of the Bronte Way story. We hope it's widened your view of what's meant by Bronte country. In the next part, we'll have a look at Haworth in more depth. Then it'll be up to Wuthering Heights country, before going on to Gawthorpe Hall in Padiham, by way of Wycoller Village. See you then.